This morning on the Hill, we have the results from election night 2025 from races across central New York.
Plus, we've officially crossed into the longest government shutdown in American history, but will the disastrous results for Republicans last night encourage them to come to the table?
And a cappella with a cause, how an SU group is hitting all the right notes for men's health. All that and more coming up on this edition of Mornings on the Hill. Good morning, I'm Madison Diaz. Thanks for joining us for Mornings on the Hill.
And I'm Luke Radel. It's the morning after election night, and I know I'm still catching up on my sleep, but we're getting a pretty clear picture now of the results here in Syracuse and across America. Those results are up first.
The big winner of the night, Democrat Sharon Owens, the deputy mayor, will now take over the top job, making history as the first black mayor of Syracuse. Her success is part of a blue wave that swept across Onondaga County and indeed across America. Our Ryan Story is here to break down the results. Ryan, tell folks waking up a little bit more about who will be their next mayor.
Thanks. Sharon Owens served as the deputy mayor for the past 8 years under incumbent Ben Walsh. Her extensive resume earned her a landslide victory, and she took over 73% of the vote. Republican candidate Tom Babylon got almost a 20%, but after the loss, this might be the last time we see Babylon in politics for the time being.
I don't really have any political aspirations right now, but if something comes up in the future, who knows?
Alonzo Davis and Tim Rudd rounded out the voting by combining for 7%. The last time the Democratic Party had a lead in the Onondaga County legislature was in the late 1970s. That changed Tuesday night. Republicans entered Election Day with 12 of the 17 seats and promptly had the script flipped on them. The Democrats challenged 4 Republican incumbents and vied for 2 more open seats, winning all 6. The Democratic Party now holds 10 seats, good for a majority in the legislature. The blue wave isn't just limited to the Salt City or even Onondaga County. It's national. Just 1 year after a drastic shift to the right, the political pendulum swung dramatically back to the left this election day. We're going to focus on 1 key mayoral race and 2 governor races that were all won by Democrats. In New York, Zohran Mamdani ran away with the election over Andrew Cuomo. For the first time since 1969, more than 2 million people voted in that election. Mamdani's total of over 1.03 million voters is larger than 5 different states' populations. Staying close, Mickey Sherrill convincingly won the election for New Jersey. Early polling projected a close race, but Sherrill pulled away to win by a double-digit margin. Down south, Virginia will have its first ever female governor. Abigail Spanberger dominated the cities to win 57% of the vote. It was a big day for the Democratic Party, but now the pressure is on them to deliver upon the promises made to their constituents. Back to you guys.
So much. Another race that we've been following closely, the race for state Supreme Court. There were 4 seats on the ballot in District 5, which stretches from Syracuse out east to my hometown of Utica and up north to Watertown. And we can project that the top 3 vote getters there are Democrats, while the 4th and final spot will go to incumbent Justice James McCluskey, a Republican. The candidate who received the most votes happens to be my aunt, Elizabeth Snyder Fortino. So congrats to her and to all the candidates. They'll each serve a 14-year term. Time now for our first check of our weather on this Wednesday morning. And it is, I can't tell which day it is. At a certain point, when you stay up late watching election results, you don't know which. Tuesday blends into Wednesday and blends into a beautiful forecast, which I'm sure our Gabriella Peniston will have for us. Gabby?
Yes, good morning. I'm right now outside, and I can tell you right now that it is very, very cold. It is right now, I believe, to be 50 degrees outside in Syracuse, but it's feeling a little bit colder. It's feeling like 39 degrees simply because of the strong winds that we're experiencing right now. So we're experiencing like 12 mile per hour winds right now. During the entire week, we're going to see a lot of rain and a lot of those winds. So for those fans of Wicked, you might be defying gravity because of those winds. And we're also going to be seeing like that transition into the snow this weekend. We're going to see a lot of snow on Monday. So keep in mind that you need to start dressing up more appropriately. Right now I'm wearing a dress, so maybe I'm not the best example for that right now, but make sure to have those jackets out, and we'll be talking a little bit more about next week's weather back in weather. Guys, back to you.
Thank you so much, Gabby. So today marks the longest government shutdown, in history. 36 days have passed since funding has ended, and while there is a congressional measure that would allow for health care subsidies to be extended, it will be voted on separately from the budget. Several senators have privately indicated support, and there are hopes of the government reopening soon. And the Supreme Court is hearing arguments right now on a case that could have a huge impact on your wallet.
That's right. The aggressive tariff strategy that's been pushed by President Trump is under review as the highest court in the land determines if he has the legal authority to impose tariffs on other countries without the approval of Congress.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said there are other options in case of defeat. The president has fiercely defended his authority to impose tariffs and warns of economic damage if they were to be struck down.
Now, the Supreme Court's 6-3 conservative majority, including those 3 justices appointed by President Trump, have consistently sided with him on controversial measures, even as a new CNN poll finds that 61% of Americans believe that Trump has made the economy worse, not better. Well, some sad news to share this morning out of Louisville, Kentucky. 9 people are dead and more are injured after a UPS cargo plane on its way to Honolulu, Hawaii, crashed on takeoff from Muhammad Ali International Airport.
Yeah, an investigation is still going, but officials say it's too early to confirm the cause of the crash. They warn the injuries, were, quote, very significant and that the death toll could rise. The plane was carrying 38,000 gallons of fuel when it crashed, and all departing flights from the airport were canceled last night. Coming up on Mornings on the Hill, game on,
That's
Luke.
Right. We'll take you to Bird Library, where folks last night certainly weren't bored. Yeah, I went there.
Welcome back to Mornings on the Hill. You know, Luke, it's getting colder out there by the day.
It's dropping. I'm from Central New York. I'm used to this. It's gonna get a lot worse. We just gotta, buckle down, bundle up, all that good stuff.
I'm not ready. I feel like this winter is going to be colder than any that we've had yet.
Oh boy, that's quite a prediction to make. We'll see if our Gabriella Pennison agrees.
Well, I will agree. I think this week is going to look very, very bad. Sorry, Matt, to break the news to you, but as you can see right now, we are reaching those low 40s and low 50s around in Central New York right now. So you can see Syracuse, we are currently in 51 degrees, and the other ones are kind of similar. They're in the 40s and 50s, but let's look at next week's weather. So next week, looking very, very rough out there, okay? So starting Thursday, tomorrow, we're gonna see, of course, rain. It's gonna be raining all week. So high of 44, low of 36. So we're already reaching those 30s now next week. And Friday, also going to be raining, of course, the entire week. So Friday, we're not going to be seeing as much rain as the other days, but there's a high of 54 and a low of 35. And then, of course, Saturday, of course, it's also raining, raining all week. 52 is the high, 43 is the low. And then Sunday, we're also going to be seeing a lot of rain. We're going to see a high of 54 and then a low of 39. And we're going to transition into winter. We're seeing already some snow. So I'm so sorry, Mads and Luke, because you guys were just talking about this, but we're gonna be seeing some snow next week. On Monday, we're gonna see maybe 1 to 2 inches of snow, which I don't know how I feel about that, honestly, but who knows? Maybe we can do a whole weather segment and we're gonna go sledding one of these days. But that's it for me right now. But when it comes to weather, but although this weekend's weather wasn't good and this next week's weather isn't going to be good either, I was still able to go to a cappella event this weekend at the university. Check it out.
It's not your average concert. At Syracuse University, the Autotunes are blending music, health, and many pies? The Autotunes, Syracuse University's all-male a cappella group, hosted their 13th annual cappella concert, an event that raises money and awareness for testicular cancer.
What cappella does is it breaks the stigma around testicular cancer, and we really want the people who are diagnosed with testicular cancer to know that they are not alone.
Testicular cancer is the most common type of cancer in men aged 15 to 35. Connor O'Leary was diagnosed at 19 years old, and now he turns his experience into a mission to help others.
I'm a testicular cancer survivor and was doing some speaking engagements, ran into the Testicular Cancer Foundation and saw the mission and the impact they were having and could not jump on board.
With events like Acapella, O'Leary says it's possible to encourage men to get checked early and stop the cancer before it spreads.
There is a world where testicular cancer doesn't have to take anybody's life, and that's really, at the end of the day, our ultimate goal.
The Testicular Cancer Foundation and AutoTunes work together to make every note a step towards saving a life.
It's spreading love. It's spreading love to, the entire testicular cancer community.
Reporting for Mornings on the Hill, I'm Gabriella Peniston.
You know, Gabby, what a great concert for a great cause. And I'm not just saying that because I got to perform.
Hey, listen, you have to get that plug in there. I'm just surprised we got to put Acapella on a graphic for a school class. Like, pretty great.
Yeah, well, Bird Library held its weekly game night on Tuesday, and students took their pick from games like Monopoly, Exploding Kittens, and Scramble.
And I know our reporter Amelia Zahn was ready to get in on the fun. She's joining us live now from the newsroom. Hi, Amelia.
Thanks, Luke. Bird Library hosts game night once a week and provide multiple games for students to choose. If you're looking for a place to play games, Bird is the right place for you. Bird Library provides free games once a week, usually on Tuesday. The game group gathers people who want to play games and find friends who have common interests with them. You can also bring your own group to start a game. The time duration of game greatly varies. They all depend on your own preference.
We've kind of marked them out between how long it takes to play. So if you can only make a short game, we have those that are under 30 minutes, those that are 30 to 60 for those that want something a little bit longer, want to take up a little bit more time, and then we have over 60 minutes. I think the maximum that we have, I want to say, is 110, but that's based on board game play. You could play much longer. If it's a game like Monopoly, I know people have played for hours, so just depends on what people are looking for.
Snacks and beverages are provided, so feel free to drop in at the table. Amelia Jan, NCC News. Check out more information on Syracuse University events calendar and feel free to contact Bird Library. Now back to you guys.
Amelia, thank you so much. Well, these days, just about anybody, it seems, can be an influencer with one of these and an ability to yap. You can get a following on any number of social platforms. But how do you make money from that following? Well, that's the focus of a new program right here on the Hill.
Yeah, the SU Center for the Creator Economy is the first of its kind anywhere in the nation and will be a partnership between the Whitman and Newhouse schools to provide a balance of coursework on how to make creative content into a business. Here's what the Dean of Newhouse, Mark Lodato, had to say on the launch.
You hear people joke a little bit, it's a school for influencers, and that's really not the case. The reality is the creator economy is a multi-million dollar, if not billion-dollar industry today in the United States. And what we see is an opportunity for communicators that are studying at schools like Newhouse, but others as well, FOC and VPA, to really get a sense of the business side of the creator economy.
And the program is set to launch next school year.
Now coming up on Mornings on the Hill, Syracuse women's basketball just had their season opener last night in the JMA Wireless Dome, and the head coach just achieved an amazing milestone.
Rise and shine, sports fans. I'm Sydney Coulier with your sports update here on Mornings on the Hill. Head coach of the Syracuse women's basketball team, Felicia Leggett-Jack, can now etch her name among legends. With last night's season opener win over Stony Brook, Jack recorded her 400th career win. And actually, while sidelining reporting for the ACC network, I had the pleasure of breaking the news to her. And this is what she said.
Coach, your first career win as an Orange head coach was against Stony Brook, and now your 400th career win is against the same team. How do you feel right now?
You're good. That's I had no idea about. I appreciate you saying that, but this is a good team. We beat a good team today. They ran some really fun things, and we got to get better.
Now that's the type of response you get when you give your all to others. This momentum milestone is made up of victories she achieved while not only leading the Orange, but teams such as Boston College, Michigan State, and the University at Buffalo. Congratulations, Coach Jack. Now, you may recognize the names, but you know the voices. Newhouse hosted its 10th annual Marty Glickman Awards ceremony Tuesday, bringing some of sports media's biggest names back to campus. Our Antine Cox was here, and he joins us live to break it down.
Thanks, Sydney. This year's recipient was someone synonymous with sports on the Hill. Matt Park, the longtime voice of Orange football and basketball, was the winner. But as he told me, moments like these, which bring out titans of sports broadcasting, are celebrations of Newhouse as a whole.
That's what we're all here for, is to continue that legacy of helping students, of making this the place to be if you want to work in professional broadcasting and in sports media. So the fact that they're back here and to have all these people in one room at one time is close to unprecedented.
These guests included retired legends like Marv Albert and Bob Costas, as well as current industry leaders like Ian Eagle and Sean McDonough. Ahead of the ceremony, those four and Park held a panel together, sharing a wealth of knowledge to the next generation of broadcasters. In particular, McDonough says he never gets tired of the experience.
You know, and it's so humbling. You know, as I said, when I came here, I wanted to be Marv or Bob, and now to have kids here today asking questions to me about, you know, I've been watching you my whole life, and that's also it kind of hurts me actually when they say that. You know, I remember, even though it was a long time ago, what it was like for me to be sitting in the audience and listening to Dick Stockton talk or Billy Packard talk about their experiences, and sitting there knowing that someday I want to do what they did. So it's always really an honor and a blessing to have the chance to come back and speak to students.
Of course, the award itself is named after Marty Glickman, a pioneer of sports broadcasting and a key alumnus in Newhouse's history. The selection process is done by prior winners, so soon enough, it'll be Park's turn to select the next member of the club. Sydney, back to you.
Thanks, Antine. We've covered women's basketball. Now about men's. Victoria Daly has more.
Hi, Orange fans. I'm Victoria Daly with your morning sports update. Syracuse men's basketball is back in action. They opened season play Monday night when they hosted Binghamton in the Dome. Syracuse set the speed of play early on, starting the game on a 20-4 run in 13 minutes. And here comes the big man, Donnie Freeman, adding his 6th point during the spurt. The Orange will head into half with an 18-point lead over the Bearcats and continue to build on it throughout the second, giving multiple players their time to shine and contribute to the 85-47 SU victory. And I talked about players that shine. Let's take a look. Donnie Freeman, 20 points, 6 rebounds. Nathan George, an offensive playmaker for the Orange with 14 points and 5 steals. And how about Kion Anthony, the player to watch, 15 points, and his dad's reaction? That's right. Carmelo couldn't make it to the game because of work, but he reacted to his son's first collegiate game from over at NBC. Syracuse's own Sean Dorselis' post-game interview was included in that reaction.
Your dad, Mello, wasn't here tonight doing his TV job. What do you expect to see on your phone when he texts you after this game?
No, yeah, I totally understand, you know, job, he gotta be on NBC. So, you know, he watching right now. I know he's seeing through the camera, and I appreciate him for watching. I'll see him soon. And, you know, it's no worries. He'll be at the next one.
Now they'll be playing Del State on Saturday in the Dome for a 2 p.m. matchup. This is the second in a 5-game home stretch for the Orange. That's going to do it on your morning sports update. I'm Victoria Daly. Back to you, Sydney.
Staying right here in Syracuse and heading over to the field, Syracuse men's soccer begins its quest for the ACC and NCAA tournament. Our Alex Grandin is in studio this morning with more.
Yeah, thank you, Sydney. Syracuse men's soccer hosts round 1 of its ACC tournament campaign at Ainsley Athletic Complex against Virginia Tech at 6 p.m. The Qs earned this matchup after finishing their season with a draw against number 9 NC State. So let's head down south to the land of the pine in North Carolina. It was Sakil Ming late in the game getting this beautiful goal, twisting and turning bottom left corner. That shot was labeled. Now, Virginia Tech also finished their campaign with the draw as well. They faced off against Clemson. Let's take you to Clemson now.
The final pass.
It was Declan Quill with a gorgeous cross to Beltran Alvarez. That one, as seen on the Premier League, he gets his first as a Hokie. It's 1-1. Now we take it mid-second half, a set-piece opportunity, and it's Declan Quill, that man again. He gets his first of the game. That's his 4th in his last 2 matches. And just minutes later, Quill again over the field to the Hokies, and he finds at the back of that, that's Giannis Belatrosh. Now, aside from Declan Quill, the Orange need to look out for freshman striker Dogger Traustason. He has 7 goals on the season, but Q's keeper Thomas Hutt has been lights out. He's second in the ACC in shutouts and save percentage. Reporting for Mornings on the Hill, I'm Alex Grandin. Back to you, Sydney.
Still to come here on Mornings on the Hill, People magazine has announced the sexiest man of the year. And a campus organization is organizing their own version of Dancing with the Stars. Stay with us and more just ahead.
Welcome into entertainment. I'm Eric McCormick. Hope everybody's having a great day. And the wait for one of Hollywood's most prestigious titles is over. The sexy men around the world, including myself, waited anxiously for the release of People magazine's Sexiest Man Alive. But unfortunately for myself, it was Wicked star Jonathan Bailey who earned the honor this year. The 37-year-old British actor posed for photos with his dog, Benson, in the magazine's photo shoot. Bailey launched into Hollywood's hearts with his role as Lord Anthony on Bridgerton and made his big screen debut in 2024's Wicked before starring alongside Scarlett Johansson in the latest edition of the Jurassic Park franchise, Jurassic World Rebirth, earlier this year. Well, congratulations to Jonathan Bailey. There's always next year, fellas. Speaking of next year, world-famous video game series Halo is returning for the first time since 2021 with their 9th release in the main series marked for 2026. The new game will be a remake of the 2001 original Halo Combat Evolved. The remake focuses on bringing the original story back with modern graphics and gameplay, while also adding in some exciting new features and expanding to new audiences. And for the first time in the game's 20-year history, Halo will be releasing on the PlayStation. Well, as a PlayStation owner, that is exciting news, but I'm a little old for Halo at this point. We've been talking about the Hollywood stars today, but how about the local stars here on the Hill? Syracuse DanceWorks, the student-run organization, is hosting a Dancing with the Stars competition for different campus organizations. From sororities to club sports, the stars have been paired up with a DanceWorks pro to create a minute-long routine in hopes of bringing home the grand prize for their organization. Early voting has already opened on the DanceWorks Instagram, and the competition will be held on November 15th in the Shine Student Center underground area. That'll be my last dance here in entertainment. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Eric McCormick.
Eric, thank you very, very much. As always, next year.
There is always next year.
We'll see.
Well, that's going to do it for us on this morning's edition of Mornings on the Hill. I'm Madison Diaz.
And I'm Luke Riddle. Take care, everybody.